Hey guys, me again, from the year 2018, and I'm really excited because I just bought my first yearly game, Just Dance 2016 on the Wii U, and I plan on playing this every single year. What the f*** did I do that for?
So you have Zelda in 2017 but no 2018? Fuck that, just play Just Dance instead. Annual video game series, games that come out every year. You know what I'm talking about. Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, Madden, FIFA, Just Dance. Each of these games have entries that come out each and every year. Assassin's Creed missed out on 2019, but at least they made up for it with a terrible movie in 2016, so that makes up for it. The first appearance of a yearly video game was John Madden Football, developed by EA and released on the Apple II. Nobody played it. So a year later, they released it on the Commodore 64 and Commodore 128. And nobody played it, so they thought maybe it would sell better if we put it on consoles people actually cared about. So they put a second game on the Genesis and SNES that was also called John Madden Football. But it's a different game. That's not confusing at all. Then after that they made John Madden 2, then John Madden 92, and it's been going on yearly ever since. I don't know if you could tell by looking at me, but I'm not much into sports.
He's a f***ing gecko.
So I'm not really much into sports games. I like Mario sports games and Wii Sports. I just don't like plain Jane sports games like this. 2K, FIFA, all of them. Just because I kind of find most sports boring. And this is literally just pretending I'm in a sport. So I find that boring. I like the Mario sports games and Wii Sports just because they have more to them and they actually add things to make them way more interesting. However, I see why people like these games and the same reason I see why people like real life sports. I understand the thrill of watching a game and rooting for your favorite team or trying to compete up to that very last point in the game. And these games replicate that feeling. These are good games and I can appreciate them, they're just not really my thing. Now with Assassin's Creed, it's a little hazy on whether or not it's considered a yearly game. But in my opinion, it is. I kind of feel like they didn't necessarily intend for that though, at least at first. The first one came out in 2007, then in 2008 they released a kinda sequel on the DS and mobile devices. But it wasn't really a true Assassin's Creed sequel. Then in 2009 they went effing crazy and released 3 games. First they released Assassin's Creed Bloodlines, also not the sequel, and a PSP exclusive. Then they made the true sequel Assassin's Creed 2. Then they released Assassin's Creed 2 Discovery for iOS and the DS. Then in 2010 there was an Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, then in 2011 there was Assassin's Creed Revelations, and then Assassin's Creed 3 in 2012. Wait, so were those 2 mainline games or not? What's going on? I thought those were 3 and 4, but I guess they're just spin-offs or something. Then they released Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation the same year, so now I'm even more confused. Then there's Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag in 2013, and then another shitty mobile game the same year. They kept going with this cycle until Ubisoft said in 2016, okay guys, maybe let's cool it with Assassin's Creed. Then proceeded to put out another shitty mobile game alongside 2 Assassin's Creed Chronicles games, a sub-series of Assassin's Creed. No mainline game though. Oh yeah, they also released a movie in 2016 and oh boy was it good or what. Then proceeded to make more games every single year except for 2019. In 2019 there was no Assassin's Creed at all. No mobile game, spin-off, sub-spin-off, there was just no games. Then they made another one in 2020. I hate how inconsistent these games are with the naming. It is so confusing. Like what's a mainline game and what's not? And why the f do they feel the need to release so many mobile games? Look at Madden for example. That's a yearly franchise done right. You have Madden 07, Madden 08, Madden 09, etc. It's consistent naming and I know what's a Madden game and what's not. But with this series it's like, wait, is this an Assassin's Creed or not? I just feel like they need to kind of cool it down a little bit. It's fine to have yearly releases, but 3 games a year and this many mobile games is too much. It does kind of seem like they've been taking a bit of a step back recently though, because like I said, there was nothing in 2019 and only 1 mainline game in 2020. So they're heading in the right direction in that respect. But hey, you can't have Ubisoft without... Just Dance. Originally starting in 2009, it was meant to be a dance rhythm game similar to DDR or Parappa the Rapper, but this game was more so based around modern pop songs, or at least modern for 2009. But that's the thing, they were only modern for 2009, so you gotta make another one for the hottest songs of 2010. Ah shit, now the 2010 game is outdated, so we gotta make one for 2011, while we're at it, one for 2012, and ah shit, 2013 is here. Fuck it, let's just do it yearly. Just Dance is a game that I've had fun with in the past, but it gets boring pretty quick. You only get a few songs to play around with, and it's the same dance for each one. It loses its umph pretty quick. After a few hours, you've seen pretty much everything the game has to offer. The multiplayer is fun, but it's still the same mode, just 2 people doing it. This is a game that I think makes a lot of sense coming out yearly, because one song may be popular one year, but then 2 days later that song's irrelevant and a new song's taken over. It makes sense that games with new songs would come out every year, but why does Just Dance 2020, for example, have 2019 songs? Why does 2014 have 2013 songs? Why don't you just name the game with 2013 songs Just Dance 2013? I don't understand. Just Dance isn't the only game that does this either. Pretty much every sports game does the same thing. I could not for the life of me find out why Just Dance does this. But I did read online a possible reason sports games named a year ahead, and supposedly it's because the same season of a sport ends during the year after it starts. So for example, the 2020 football season starts in August 2020 and ends in like February 2021 or something. I guess that kinda makes sense, but Just Dance, yeah, you have no excuse, Ubisoft. But hey, nothing screams feeling left out because I'm not into Call of Duty, but my friends are, so I always just end up playing GTA or something instead of Call of Duty because it's just not my thing, like Call of Duty. Okay, so the first Call of Duty came out in 2003, and the second one in 2005. Then the third game came out in 2006. The first 3 games were meant to focus on World War II. Then in 2007, they had Infinity Ward develop Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which was meant to have a more modern spin to the setting. This created a new sort of sub-series to the mainline Call of Duty games known as the, surprise, Modern Warfare games. Over time, the series went on yearly, but something interesting with the Call of Duty series is that it switches between developers for each game. So the first 2 games were developed by Infinity Ward, then the third game was developed by Treyarch, then back to Infinity Ward for the fourth, then Treyarch made World at War, aka the fifth. They kept going with this 2-studio swap cycle until 2010 when Sledgehammer announced that they were working on an entry for the franchise. But they unfortunately had to delay the game, however, because Infinity War was just having the darndest time trying to make Modern Warfare 3. In 2014, Sledgehammer officially completed a Call of Duty title, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And from this point on, they added Sledgehammer to the cycle, and games would swap from these 3 developers. For the most part, this is the cycle they've been sticking with for the series. The only time there was ever an issue with this was in 2017, when Sledgehammer was to develop a Call of Duty in collaboration with Raven Software, slated for 2020. But they were having some conflict of interest issues, so Treyarch stepped in and said, guys, just let us do it, and made Cold War.
I don't like Call of Duty.
Okay, so Call of Duty is a game that I could just never get into. I've played my fair share of the game, specifically Black Ops 3, and I actually had quite a bit of fun with it. But I lost interest in it fairly quick. I'm not sure why, I don't think it got boring, I just lost interest. I played a little bit of some 360 games, but never got that much into them. I don't know, it's just hard for me to get into the Call of Duty series. All the games just feel the same to me. Like, if you were to show me 2 Call of Duties together, I couldn't tell you which is which. I get why people like it, I understand the fun you can have in multiplayer, and even single player, it's just not my thing.
I don't know if you noticed, but most of these games aren't really my thing. And it's not because they're yearly games, it's just a lot of these games don't really speak to me. And games like Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty, I feel would benefit from not coming out yearly because it would make announcements of them way more special. But I also know that companies know that people buy them every year, so why wouldn't they make them every year? Money's awesome. But games like Just Dance, Madden, and other sports games, those make sense to come out yearly. Overall, I really regret my playing Just Dance every year tradition.